Brett, you have the AI film,
Yep.
and Jose, you have the Detective X film.
Yep.
You guys are, I think you guys are both kind of in a similar position where you guys have full-time jobs with the organization that is funding your filmmaking.
Yep. Yeah, it's kind of a unique perspective.
A little bit.
Yeah, it's kind of a unique perspective. So, yeah, so I work for Red Hat for the internal agency, but for some reason they let me create this documentary series. So this is number 5 that we've created, and yeah, they basically give us a small amount of money and we really stretch it. And so yeah, they let us do these, and it's a pretty cool thing.
You with
The Roche AI. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. You did a whole tech talk that if you're watching this on the internet, we'll make sure to put a link below. So we're gonna put that on the internet as well, but go ahead and just, for these guys, kind of explain the.
So I work within the public affairs department, and so in public affairs it's mostly writers that they are assigned to each lab, and then they meet with the labs and they find out what's going on, and when the scientist has a new research or something's coming out, then public affairs want to, make it public. And for people outside of NIST to know that their money is being used for a good thing. This film was different. We were meeting with John Butler for another video, and he just told us that they were doing this research, and we were like, that's a movie. So we asked him, can we follow you in a couple of these meetings? And obviously, it wasn't as easy as you would think because scientists don't like cameras around. And we had to limit to, okay, just one camera, okay, no many lights, no, we'll put a microphone on the table. So at the end, we had hours of these meetings, and we interviewed both of them, and then we just had to figure out how to tell a story. So that was fun.
Yeah, and it's also really cool with both these films, like, you want people to see these stories and see your films, but there's not a profit motivation. Neither one of the companies, the government, or your company are trying to profit off the films, or you're not trying to fundraise for your next thing, and so that's really great. We're glad that we could show your films.
Yeah, thank you.
Cool. And you guys have any questions for these guys? Yeah.
So I feel like in both of your films, you have this kind of element of transgression. I guess that's in all documentary, but in one case, there are these companies who are making problems by keeping data to themselves, and in your case, there are these people doing this research, but they don't necessarily want to be followed or talk about it. How do you guys deal with the problem of still being able to say something meaningful and I guess intimate in some ways when the subjects aren't always, forthcoming?
Yeah, so that's a tough question. So you're asking how do we get the information when they're scared to say things?
Or how do you make decisions about what you're going to put into the film and what you're not going to?
Yeah, I think for me there was a lot on the subject, and our main goal with this was to basically pose the question of what happens if these companies remain so secretive. How is that going to affect our society? And for the company I work for, everything is motivated by it being open. And so if we could enact these principles and let people talk to each other, or even tell you how that car is reacting and you're driving next to it, these are things that I care about, and I'm sure everyone in here would care about if you're riding next to a car that's not fully ready to be on the road, correct? And so I think our main goal was just to promote that question. Like you said, we have no stake in the game for self-driving cars. It's just the idea of posing the question that wouldn't this be better if we could all see the data?
I think in our film it's very similar, because if all this data, all these notebooks, all this work was still alive, wasn't destroyed, it would have advanced forensic science light years into the future, because that guy was just way ahead of the game. In terms of how to decide what to basically make it to the film, so being working in the government, there's already a lot of rules, a lot of red tape, a lot, So for me, I don't even think about that. I just try to make the best movie I can with whatever I got, and let the scientists and the people that be the ones to tell me you need to cut this, cut that at the end. But if you make the story so tight, especially with the music and everything together, they don't make you things out. Because it's more, that's why I always tell the scientists, it's like, what do you want people to feel with this video? And I hate that question because they don't think that way. But I tell them video is an emotional medium, and what you want is a reaction. So people say, I want to find out more about that. So it's a hook. It's not to tell your story. You already told your story. It's for us to get exposure to your story. So that's basically how I approach it. It's just how I can make it interesting that people want to watch more than 10 seconds. And then hopefully they click on this.gov afterwards.
Another question, yeah.
It's interesting because with the AI, the debate between open source and proprietary, right, that's in all technology and in science
Yeah.
is an issue. I'm just curious, where do we stand in that in terms of the balance of how much is open source and how much are people keeping?
Yeah.
And then just second question to both of you is sort of how are you getting your films out there? Where do you want them to be?
So first question, the guy who Nutonomy, they were a closed source company, but they use all of open source technology. So they basically bring it in, and a lot of his debate was, I'm not going to do it until the other people do it, and I think that's how most people feel.
Yeah.
And so they're using the technology to create these systems, but not kicking it back out.
Right.
And so that's kind of the fundamental problem. They're taking it and holding it. But the funny thing is, after we made the film, Nutonomy got purchased, or they did a project with Lyft where they were helping develop self-driving cars, and then everything, they were open sourcing all the data.
Oh.
And so I don't think that was because of us, but you start to think like, oh, maybe we had a little bug in his ear. But
Does Google open source?
they are much more open, yeah, and they use open source to obviously to get there. I don't know how far they take it. I was at Google before then. I saw the car, but I wasn't doing this documentary yet, so I didn't ask too many questions, and I wish I would have asked more with Google. But yeah, we couldn't get them to participate. Yeah. As far as what was the second question?
Oh, just how are you getting your films out there, and what's the audience? Where do you want them to be?
Yeah. Our films are, for me personally, coming to these things I think is the best thing for me. I love meeting everyone and kind of showing people this work. As far as for the company as a whole, anyone they can reach to kind of help tell this, I think our goal is to people who don't know anything about open source, to bring them in and help them understand. So most of the films I do in this series are to help relate subjects that they may not know has this type of methodology, and so that's kind of the thing, is the audience is anyone who doesn't understand or know kind of what open source is, and try to help them kind of understand that it's in more in our life than just software.
Cool, all right, thanks, yeah. Oh, go ahead, yeah.
No, so in our case, this is new to us. I didn't even know my supervisor had submitted this to a festival. So we have a YouTube page, and we have our government page, this.gov, and there's all the videos are there. This video was made for a conference. It's a Forensics at NIST conference. And they said, oh, it would be cool to show it there, so that was our deadline, was the conference. And then once it got finished, so this is kudos to my supervisor and the producer, Leon. I guess he saw the potential and he submitted it to this festival. So I was very happy that he did. Obviously, as a filmmaker, it's awesome to meet other filmmakers and to be in this type of event. Going forward for us, we have a lot of ideas and dreams, so to speak, of what to do. We actually got a small studio now in our basement, and which in construction we found out that it actually used to be a TV studio way back in the day. We broke a wall and we saw the see-through glass. We're like, this was a studio. So we're hoping that we can do some sort of show, online show, that with a host and interviewing scientists and stuff like that. And every project, the challenge is twofold: be accurate and make the scientists look great. And for me, to stay entertained is how to something new that I want to try out, or to get better and tell stories in a very different way. We've done stuff from animation to puppets and things like that, and they're doing really well. And now scientists are more open to crazy ideas. Before it was like, no, just keep it the same formula. And now they're like, no, just do whatever, just go crazy, So that's been really cool. So every video is a new challenge, and it's exciting to figure out how to tell it, and hopefully that it has an audience.
Well, we definitely want to like keep in touch with you guys and want to see your future films for Czech Talk Fest next year for sure. Yeah, so make sure if you finish something, send me a personal email with a link. I'd love to check it out. Yeah.
Awesome.
All right, cool.
Cool.
Well,
Thank
this
you.
was this was great that you guys were able to take part in this. A little bit of an experiment for us to do like a family-friendly, block of films because we're not really known for being very, we're normally very adult kind of films. Yeah, we have a Cartoons Bloody Marys, our animation festival. It's all very adult, and everybody that comes in gets a free Bloody Mary. So, yeah, we do a lot of stuff like that, and it worked out great. We had somebody that came, so thank you guys for coming, and it's good to see like some fresh faces. And now there's a little bit of a dilemma. Philip Shane's masterclass is coming up. 25 years of experience as a documentary filmmaker. Several documentaries involving technology, including a film about Einstein, and then of course the world premiere of his film tonight, Rewalk at 5 o'clock. But we're also showing a film here in the theater. It's about Kim.com. It's a really, really kind of a world-class film that was at, Hot Docs is where we filmed that film. So just kind of pick whatever place you want to hang out and make sure and stick around, everybody. All right, thanks, yeah. Thank you.